Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you happen to be watching this. Welcome back to another reaction video. We've done the previous two, League 2 and League 1. We're now into the Championship, where my team, Norwich City, currently sits. I remember where I predicted Norwich to finish, and this video is not going to be enjoyable for me. But I remember predicting Sunderland to be a lot higher than where they finished, but again, other than that, and maybe Wolves, I can't remember again what I predicted. So we're going into this one blind, just like maybe some of you guys are who are new to the channel. If you are, hit the subscribe button, all that kind of jazz, you know the drill. But yeah, let's just get into it. I love doing these. I absolutely love it, and I'm reacting to my own stuff. I'm not reacting to other channels, so I'm not like that, you know, that kind of stuff. But let's get into it. Let's have a look.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you have
Again, so miserable.
Thank you for coming back to the channel. Today we're here for a Championship table prediction, and as you can see, just a plain t-shirt on today. I haven't got any other Championship teams, and I didn't want to wear my Norwich shirt because I don't want to be too biased on the channel.
Despite
anyway, enough of that.
Despite the fact that you've got a Norwich flag hanging up above your head.
Let's have a look. My 1 to 24. Who's going to finish where? Don't crucify me too much, please. So this is the bottom 6 for the Championship. Then you can see instantly the 3 teams that are going to go down according to me. Millwall, Bolton and Burton.
Wow,
Millwall,
okay.
with them, just haven't done enough in the transfer window. And I just think they're going to be constantly going up and down,
I think I'm going to do really bad on this one.
Is found. So Millwall for me.
Millwall ended up finishing an 8th.
Exactly
Unbelievable team spirit got them there.
Only just been lifted, and again, I can't really see the type of signings that they've been making will keep them up in the Championship. And again, Burton had a great year last year. But
so Bolton, I was a couple of places off. They just about survived in 21st, and Burton finishing in 23rd. So I did get Burton getting relegated, correct? Just not in the right position.
Just made far too many.
Barnsley did get relegated.
Miss out on relegation, so they're going to just about survive.
Yeah, Barnsley did get relegated. Paul Heckingbottom leaving.
Bottom 6 with Brentford. I don't know. Again, I think
this
there's
Brentford
some
prediction.
better teams in there, and I think they might struggle this time around. I'm not expecting much from them. And again, Bristol. I mean, for Bristol City, until they get rid of their manager, they're not going to do anything. I just do not rate their manager at all. And
see, I'm just going to pause it here for 2 seconds because Brentford play an amazing style of passing possession-based football, but they are incredibly weak. And that was my justification behind it, that I couldn't see them doing that well in terms of being able to compete at the Championship level. So that's why I did that. Bristol City did amazingly well, ended up finishing in 11th place. They were good at the beginning, they had the cup runs, they had the Man City day out, and then it just completely and utterly fell apart. So massively disappointing for them. But yeah, got these ones completely wrong.
That scares you. Or you're
no correct predictions so far, which is disappointing. I've normally got one on the bag by now.
Until their manager goes. So I've put them in 19th. As I said, I think Brentford's probably the most controversial one, but let me know.
Certainly is.
Brentford fans, what you think about that in the comments section. Oh, God. Now, this one is, well, this could be a whole host of teams, to be honest, but I'll put Ipswich in 18th. Simple reason.
Again, I mean, Ipswich finishing 12th.
Whatever.
Done surprisingly well.
There's just nothing going on at Ipswich that
there is now. There are stuff going on now.
Progressing far this year. If anything, I think they've just gone backwards. And yes, they've had a lot of outs going, and they've only brought in a few ins, which they look okay. But again, nothing really is going on at Ipswich that's really going to worry them.
Do you know what? Fair play. They finished in 12th. They had a bit of a boost when McCarthy announced that he was going.
Letting go of Simon Grayson was a massive mistake. Obviously, he
Preston finished in 7th. So what the hell do I know?
It's nothing. It's nothing about Alex Neil. I just think that the way that Simon Grayson had his team working at Preston.
See, Alex Neil just walked in and just carried on the job that he was doing. He did impressively well. Do you know what? I miss Alex Neil's attacking brand of football. Defensively, he was shocking, but I miss him.
It's so good to have the Steel City derby back.
Sheffield United did really well at the beginning and then just tailored off and ended up finishing in 10th. I knew they weren't going to be anywhere near the relegation battle, but I didn't expect them to do as well as they did, so fair play to them.
United stay up. Forest, I don't think will be near the relegation zone again this year, but again, I'm not
just another kind of team now. They finished in 17th, so it's 2 places off that.
Just about do. Birmingham, it all depends on what kind of signings Harry Redknapp can make before the August.
God, I forgot they had Harry Redknapp at the beginning of the season.
How many times
that seems like such a lifetime ago.
On deadline day,
finishing in 19th, surviving last game of the season.
I don't know, but the type of signings that they're making, they're just old pros. They've been there, done it, and that's not really going to cut it in the Championship. Cardiff finishing in 13th. This was probably the most difficult one for me because I actually think Neil Warnock's going to do quite well there. But there's so many good teams in the Championship that I just couldn't put Cardiff any higher than 13th.
Idiot.
Again, these are now the teams that are going to be...
Trust your instincts. Trust your instincts. I knew that they were going to do well because they've got Neil Warnock in charge. I should have put them higher up. Granted, I didn't expect them to finish second, but still. Now, this is where things get a little bit embarrassing.
Missing out on the playoffs, starting in 12th. QPR, I probably should have put them lower down in the table.
You should have done.
Because... again, it's kind of similar to Ipswich. There's nothing about QPR that really...
Do you know what? Ian Holloway getting sacked is an absolute travesty because he's done really well to bring through a lot of youth players. Steve McLaren, I mean, come on, what kind of an appointment is that?
But again, just nothing about QPR really, as if frightened you. I just think they're going to be a mid-table finish. Reading, I think everyone's found out what Reading are about, and I think teams are going to work out how to...
They did, and they played even poorer than 11th place. They ended up finishing in 20th.
This time around.
Really struggled.
Hull have made far too many sales and not convinced me with the players that they've bought in. I think they'll do okay, but nothing spectacular.
Finishing 18th place.
10th. Wolves have made some really good signings.
They have.
I want Dave, as a party who's a Wolves fan, if he watches this video, to let me know his thoughts. I don't think the players are going to click.
How wrong was I?
Mount anything this season, so I think they're going to be finishing in 9th. Sunderland, Cam, mate, if you're watching this, any other Sunderland fans?
Yep.
I don't know. I think the Gibson thing that came out the other day on social media about him slagging off his teammates, saying...
Pausing it, because how wrong was I about Wolves and how wrong was I about Sunderland? Sunderland ended up finishing bottom of the table and Wolves absolutely blitzing the league. It just shows that you cannot, for the life of you, predict the Championship. It's unbelievably tough to manage. It's just tough to know.
There's just not been enough turnover yet at this particular point of me recording this. Obviously, we've got the whole of August to buy players in between as well. So it really could all depend on the type of players you buy, but I think you're going to miss out on the playoffs. And again, exactly the same with Leeds. Big mistake letting Gary Monk go. However, you have made some really decent signings.
Leeds finished up in 13th and just another average season.
Control of it. But again, I think it's just about going to...
I've messed up massively on these predictions.
Sorry, Leeds fans.
Especially where I placed Norwich, which is coming up any second.
I know what everyone's going to be saying straight away as soon as this playoff picture comes up. You've got Norwich in the playoffs.
So I've got one correct.
I'll explain it in a minute. Sheffield Wednesday will get into the playoffs.
No, they won't.
Spent a lot of money. They haven't done a massive amount of transfer activity, but they've kept the core of their team together.
Oh my God, it's just so bad.
For Norwich, now, again, you may think I'm being a little bit biased, but we're an unknown quantity this year because of the amount of players we've bought. It's either going to go stupendously well, or it's just going to be horrific.
It was horrific.
Nothing's going to click. But I'm expecting big things of us this year under a young manager who's got a lot to prove.
He still has a lot to prove.
Hopefully, we can get into the playoffs. So I think we'll finish 5th. Derby have always been there or thereabouts.
God, Sheffield Wednesday did nothing this year. We're poor. Norwich did nothing this year. We're boring to watch.
He knows the Championship. You saw how badly things went for Birmingham.
Do you know what? He's not the most amazing in terms of football ability, but Derby did
really good.
They're just a good championship team, aren't they? Finishing 6th, so I got that one slightly wrong.
I think they're just about going to miss out. But again, fantastic that they've been able to keep some really, really good players in the likes of Sonny Aluko, Ryan Sessegnon. There's some really, really good players.
Doesn't Sonny Aluko play for Reading now?
Tom Kearney.
Yep.
I just think they're going to have another great year, but just
so we got one correct.
I think the 2 teams above them are just going to be a little bit too strong. For
and I remember who the 2 teams were.
No, by no means, but I think Fulham just going to miss out. And these are the top 2. Fairly predictable, I know.
Yeah, and both teams ended up finishing in the playoffs in 4th and 5th, and they actually take each other on this evening when I'm recording this.
Middlesbrough have had this year. They just didn't have enough prowess last year to mount a Premier League survival.
Yeah.
They've got enough about them in the Championship, and again under Gary Monk, what an appointment that is, and some of the signings.
Gary Monk's now at Birmingham, so
I think they've just got the strongest Championship squad. Again,
you could argue the Villa should have done miles better than what they have, but both teams ended up finishing in the playoffs.
I think all the teams that came down are around about the same sort of level as what the Championship teams are already there. Obviously, I've put Middlesbrough second, but I've got both who went down, Hull and Sunderland, to finish outside the playoffs. The Championship's a tough league. It really, really is a tough league. And
it is, and that's why I can't bloody predict it.
There's no one in this league that is like on another level, if you know what I mean.
Well, that was wrong because Wolves completely blitzed it. So
beyond them, probably Middlesbrough might finish top. I don't know, but that will be my top 2. But yeah,
we'll leave it at that because I got one right, and that just goes to show how tough the Championship is to predict. I got Norwich and Sheffield Wednesday in the playoffs, and they both performed poorly. We had Cardiff finishing mid-table, and they done superbly well. The top 2 there, Aston Villa and Middlesbrough, didn't quite do enough and only just managed to fit into the playoffs. I had Wolves just below the playoffs, so it is incredibly difficult when you're looking at the Championship to predict. Most leagues, especially the Premier League, is incredibly easy to kind of, although I haven't done my reaction to it, so I can't remember what I said, but the Premier League is kind of routine, whereas this league, it's just so... It's small margins as to whether or not it clicks, and it's all about the team that goes on the right run at the right time. But again, like the previous other 2 episodes, leave me down in the comments about your team and how well or how poorly they've done this season. Dave, who everyone knows, Dave has a party, let me know about your Wolves team. You must be buzzing. You must be so proud of what they've done this year. Let me know. Norwich fans, let me know. Ipswich, all that kind of stuff. Every Championship team, leave me a comment. I want as many as possible in the comment section. So, until we see each other next time, as always on the channel, adios.